Have you ever been in a room full of people laughing, yet felt like a ghost trapped behind an invisible wall of glass? You look around at the smiling faces, the chatter, the effortless connection happening all around you. Instead of feeling included, a sudden wave of total isolation hits you out of nowhere. It's heavy. It's confusing. You immediately tell yourself you're being dramatic. You force a smile, nod along to a story you're barely hearing, and desperately try to shake it off. After all, you're not physically alone. So why does it feel like your soul is stranded on a deserted island? If you've ever felt completely isolated while standing in a synchronized crowd, I need you to stay with me today, because psychology shows that this isn't a flaw in your personality, nor is it a sign that you are broken. It's actually a sophisticated warning light flashing from your brain, and its true meaning is entirely different than what you think. Society has conditioned us to believe that loneliness is a simple mathematical equation. 0 people equals sad, while a high head count equals happiness. But your neurobiology doesn't care about statistics. Modern psychologists make a strict distinction between physical isolation and subjective emotional loneliness. True loneliness isn't the physical absence of people around you, it's the profound absence of genuine connection within you. To understand why this happens, we have to look at the work of Dr. John Cacioppo, a pioneering neuroscientist who dedicated his life to studying loneliness. He discovered that loneliness isn't just an emotion, it is an evolutionary alarm system hardwired into our DNA. Think about it this way. Just like physical pain is a biological signal warning you to pull your hand away from a hot stove, the ache of loneliness is a survival mechanism warning you that your social hunger is not being fed. But here is where most people get trapped. You cannot feed that deep psychological hunger with empty emotional calories. Being surrounded by people where you constantly have to wear a social mask, filter your authentic thoughts, or engage in superficial small talk is the psychological equivalent of eating junk food. It fills the time, it fills the room, but it starves the soul. When you are at that crowded table, your brain is quietly running 50 different background programs just to survive. It's trying to fit in, attempting to match the group's vibe, calculating the right thing to say, and overanalyzing body language. It takes an immense, exhausting amount of cognitive energy to pretend. And when you work that hard just to be accepted, your subconscious registers a dangerous, heartbreaking truth. They don't actually see me. They only see the performance. This brings us to a much deeper, quieter mechanism. Many of us learned to build these invisible protective walls a long time ago. Perhaps you grew up in an environment where your true emotions were labeled as too loud, too inconvenient, or too complicated for the adults around you. To keep the peace and stay safe, you learned a survival strategy. Keep your real self hidden. You became a psychological chameleon, an absolute expert at reading the room, blending into the background, and morphing into whoever people needed you to be. But the tragedy of living life as a chameleon is the inherent paradox. Even when people love you, a voice deep inside whispers that they only love the specific color you painted yourself to match them. So when you sit in a room full of friends and feel that familiar, cold detachment creep in, please stop hating yourself for it. It doesn't mean you are ungrateful, antisocial, or defective. It is simply your internal alarm system screaming that your battery cannot be recharged by mere superficial proximity. You don't need more faces in your social circle. You need more depth. You don't need a bigger crowd. You need a safer space. One single, unfiltered conversation where you can completely drop the mask and say exactly what you mean will do more for your mental health than 100 crowded rooms ever could. You deserve connections that don't require a performance. Your true self is not too loud, it's not too complicated, and it is entirely worthy of being seen. Trust your inner alarm, protect your energy, seek out your people, and remember that it is always better to be noticed for who you truly are than to be loved for someone you're pretending to be. If this video gave a voice to something you've been feeling but couldn't quite explain, please hit that subscribe button. Here, we dive deep into the unspoken psychology of the human mind, helping you understand yourself better every single week. Now, I want to hear your story. Drop a comment below. When was the last time you felt completely alone in a crowded room? Let's start a real, unfiltered conversation down there.